15 years Nextview. Like I said, moment to celebrate. But you guys, you were at the start of the company 15 years ago. So can you please explain us why in the world you started and why you did it together? So what was the ambition?
Two questions.
Two questions.
So why did we start it? Because I think we had for 2 or 3 years great experience together in larger programs and smaller projects, in developing something new, bringing in usability and bringing in more user focus in the SAP technology branch. And we were quite famous in that. We wanted to make it a new business, but first of all, I hesitated. I don't know if you hesitated, I don't think so, but I hesitated. And I thought, why don't I sell it to my own company where I worked? It was Capgemini. I had the chance for 1 hour to explain it, and then they said, Oscar, please leave the room. And that was for me a moment that I thought I need to do something outside this company for myself, together, I hope, with Huub and some other people, and start exploring our own vision. So that was the reason for me. And for you, Huub?
Yeah, we got fired.
Yeah.
And it was 2009.
That's a better word. That's a better word. We were fired.
It was 2009. There was nothing else we could do. So we thought we start on our own and do the things that we wanted to do, and build the company where we wanted to work for ourselves.
It sounds a little bit still undefined. I mean, you guys were in a job, had the idea, hey, we can do this better together. But did you already also have a clear view on the ambition?
Well, the program Oscar was referring to was called View at a company where we worked for in the Netherlands called Ascent. And View was virtual integrated enterprise workplace. With that concept, we were first active at another consultancy firm, which we helped grow from, what was it, 3 million to 12 million, and we were supposed to become a partner. And when everything was negotiated, we found ourselves unemployed. And then we said, this is not going to happen, and we're going to do this on our own. And that's why the company was also called Nextview, because we wanted to still realize our initial ambitions. And the goal that we set was 5 years, 5 million revenue, 50 people. And at that point, with economic downturns, banks crashing, that was still quite ambitious at that time.
Another part of the question was, why did we do it together? I think from the first time I discovered, and I hope you did too, is that we had quite some how do you call that?
We compensated.
Yeah, we compensated a lot. We still do. We compensated a lot. Together we accomplished the most beautiful things.
Okay. Going into that, so if you look back, what would be the most memorable moment? I mean, you guys working together, starting up, I mean, taking that deep dive together.
The ski trips?
Huh?
The ski trips?
Yeah, the ski trips as well, yeah.
Okay,
but business-wise, in the first years, for me,
I mean, if it's something else, then it's also okay.
Next we come to the parties and the ski trips. But for me, when I look for the first years, when we did projects and scored projects, I think the Rabobank case was for me a highlight, because it was a large bank who said to a little company, you do know everything about the virtual integrated enterprise workplace. Please do a project for us.
Anything to add, Huub? Maybe something you want to forget about the past?
Forget? No, I think everything happens for a reason, and what doesn't make you successful, makes you learn and brings you success in the end. There was so many things, like the concept of the design thinking center, or
the opening of Amsterdam Design Thinking Center.
Opening, or the people joining, the talent that has, everyone can work everywhere, but why do people work with us and join us? And same for a lot of the customers that we brought in, that they wanted to work with us, and that the confidence that sort of shows that every time that is a unique thing still.
I mean, I think this is very interesting, because I've seen it. I mean, I've been here for a year now, and I see the same. But if you look back, so what contributed the most, if you look back to getting to the point that we are today? Is that the design thinking concept, the centers around it, the approach that we take? So, what do you think?
Well, 4 years ago I left the company. It's been 4 years now. It's quite a long time, I must say. And I had a little gift for the company, and it's those two giraffes with a lot of colors. And the title is "Stay Colorful." I think differentiate in these markets in the past was one of the great values we had. It's always a big challenge to differentiate, but design-led business is an instrument to differentiate, but in itself it's also very much something which differentiates the company. I think that's one of the reasons why this company is very special to me.
It's staying colorful, but also staying true to your core values, right? To do the things that we think how they should be done. Like everything that we do it for a reason, and we try to have a distinctive positioning than our competitors. And I think that's why our customers want to work with us, why people want to work with us, and why we are still here to work with the company.
Because that's one thing that strikes me the most, looking back for almost a year now, is that of course I had a view being in Salesforce on what Nextview was and where the strength of the company was. But what really strikes and stands out most is, I think, the level of engagement, and is the way our people show up internally towards each other, towards the customers, towards Salesforce. So besides, let's say, the approach. So the interesting question, it is, so it's all about culture. But that is, I think, one of the toughest things to manage, to get in place. So how did you get to that point? Do you have a clear view on how you got to that point?
It's very hard to make it explicit. I think it's more of us and the people we invited to come to this company, which made this culture. I think that's a bit of my point of view. I always love to have so many people who have the same mindset and the same behavior in this company. I hope this will stay forever, which is quite a challenge in a larger growing company. But for me, I love that, and it starts with gathering the right people around you and acting, like you say, always in a serious way and consistently.
And I still think that having our 3 core values, right, so that everyone knows these values and we still stick to them, right, that is the core of why this is such a success.
So we heard a little bit on where the name comes from, Nextview. So we have heard where you started together. We touched on culture. But if there's one moment, so those were all very serious topics, right? So if there's one moment you could relive out of the history, out of the last 15 years, what would it be? And this is a moment that you also can touch upon the parties and the ski trips.
Oh, okay. I was thinking about the lows, but you thought about the highs, I think, or not?
I was thinking about a high.
There was a time that we were 10 years old as a company. We went to Austria, wasn't it Austria?
5 years.
That's 5 years, Austria. We put on our, how do you call it in English?
The lederhosen.
We put a lederhosen on. We went up a big mountain.
Do we have pictures on this?
Yes, we have. A lot.
We'll share them with you. We went up a large mountain, close to the Gross Clock now. 1 meter of snow, and we got the whole company to the top.
So, very good. Hey, if there's one piece of advice you would give to listeners, to Nextview colleagues for the next 15 years, what would it be?
I already told about stay colorful, so that's one advice. But the other thing, we discussed it a few moments ago. When we started, we really loved the fact that we were a small company, so we were very we could make easily decisions or do our own thing. It was great. This being a small company has advantages. On the other hand, you have ambitions to become a large European company. So my advice is try to stay small in your large ambitions. That's my advice.
Well, it's I don't think size really matters, right? Greatness matters. So it's a journey, and I think it's important, and that's what we've always done. Right? We've worked our asses off, but we always also made sure that we had a lot of fun along the way. But we also stay true to ourselves, and we also, that's also why we have these core values that we do business with our hearts. Also means that we have tough discussions if needed, but we also go the extra mile when needed, right? We proceed where others will stop, and I think that level of entrepreneurship, that is really needed, right? So to see this as a journey, to do what is needed, to don't forget to have fun along the way, and to stay true to why you are working here and why you want to continue working here.
And with that, I think building on the last 15 years, we had great progress in each and every way, whether it is in business, whether it's towards the difference that we make for our customers, whether it's the environment that we have created for our colleagues. I think it comes with a big shout out to the both of you for bringing us here today. And I think we're at a great starting point of the next step in the future of Nextview. So thank you for taking us on the journey. Thank you for this interview, and on to the next 15.
Great.